You know, in the whole world of cybersecurity, there's this one word that's at the heart of everything. Every attack, every defense strategy, every single budget meeting. And that word is threat. We hear it thrown around all the time, right? But what does it actually mean? Well, getting that definition right is the key to understanding how we protect pretty much everything online. So let's break it down.
All right, let's start off with a little bit of a puzzle. What could a really unhappy employee and a massive earthquake possibly have in common? I know, it sounds like the beginning of a weird joke, but in cybersecurity, they're actually seen as the exact same type of problem. And the answer, well, it reveals a huge piece of how we think about security.
And the answer is they're both a source of potential danger. Yep. In the lingo of cybersecurity, that person and that natural disaster, they fall under the very same umbrella. They are both classified as threats.
So let's get into the official definition. A threat is any potential cause of an unwanted impact. And the key word there, the one you really need to remember, is potential. See, a threat isn't the actual damage itself. It's the possibility of damage. Think of it like this. It's the storm you see gathering on the horizon, not the flood that's already in your basement. Now, things get a little more nuanced because not all threats are created equal. They basically fall into two big categories. The ones that are malicious, on purpose, and the ones that just happen completely by accident. The real difference here is all about intent. So on one side, you've got your intentional threats. This is what we all picture, right? The hacker in the hoodie, a nasty piece of malware, or that disgruntled employee who's looking to cause some trouble. But on the other side, you've got accidental threats, which have zero malice behind them. We're talking about a construction crew accidentally cutting a fiber optic cable, a power outage, or an employee who just accidentally clicks delete on a super important folder. And here's the kicker. Your systems don't care about intent. Both kinds of threats can be just as devastating. This brings us to probably one of the most common mix-ups in all of security, the difference between a threat and a vulnerability. People use these words interchangeably all the time, but they are totally different things. Here's the easiest way to think about it. The threat is the who or the what that could cause harm. It's the burglar standing outside your house. The vulnerability is the how, the weakness that lets the harm happen. It's the unlocked door. You see? You can't just get rid of every burglar in the city, but you absolutely can, and you definitely should, lock your door. And this quote just nails it. It perfectly captures the strategic difference. You can fix vulnerabilities. You can patch your software. You can lock the door. But you can't just eliminate threats. Earthquakes are going to happen. There will always be bad actors. All you can do is mitigate their impact and manage the risk. And that, right there, is why security is a never-ending process, not just a one-and-done fix. Okay, so if a threat is the potential for harm, who or what is actually causing it? Well, in the biz, we call these entities threat actors, and figuring out who they are and what they want is absolutely key to building a good defense. So, broadly speaking, a threat actor is the who behind the incident. This could be anybody from a lone hacker in their bedroom who's just curious, to a massive criminal organization that's all about profit, or even a foreign government trying to get a political edge. Their goals and their resources are all over the map. Now, one of the trickiest threat actors to defend against is the insider threat. This isn't somebody trying to break in from the outside. This is an employee, a contractor, or a partner who already has access. They don't need to kick down the door because they already have the keys. And then at the very top of the pyramid, you have what are called advanced persistent threats, or APTs for short. Now, these are not your typical smash and grab attacks. An APT is a super sophisticated, long-term campaign, often with the backing of a nation-state. Their whole goal is to get in, stay quiet, and just hang out undetected for months, maybe even years, slowly stealing critical data. It's basically the digital version of a deep cover spy. So we've defined the threats, we've met the actors, from the employee who makes a mistake all the way to a state-sponsored spy. It can feel, a little overwhelming, can it? But we are not helpless. So how does security pros actually fight back against all this constant pressure? Well, defense always starts with knowledge. It's simple, right? You can't defend against an enemy you don't understand. And that's exactly the role of something called threat intelligence. It's the process of actively gathering and analyzing information about who might attack you, what methods they like to use, and what their motives are. It's how you go from being a passive target to being a proactive, informed defender. And that intelligence becomes the fuel for the whole engine of risk management. It's a really simple but incredibly powerful cycle.
First, you use that intel to understand the threats that are out there. Second, you look inward to find your own vulnerabilities, your own unlocked doors and open windows. And finally, you build a plan to close those gaps and to lessen the impact if an attack actually happens. And this isn't a checklist you do once, it's a continuous loop, always improving.
So I'll just leave you with this final thought. In security, we spend billions and billions of dollars building bigger digital walls and stronger digital locks. But as we've talked about today, some of the absolute most damaging threats don't have to break in at all. They start from the inside. And the question we all really need to be asking ourselves is this: are we paying as much attention to the keys we hand out as we are to the walls we build?